In our series titled 10 Things That Make India Great, so far we have covered the IT and hospitality sectors of India. If you haven't watched those videos yet, do check them out on our channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the gold reserves held in India, comprising of gold held by Indian households, temples, and the Indian government. So let's dive straight into it. India and gold, an inseparable bond that dates back millennia. A symbol of prosperity, a store of wealth, and a vital part of Indian culture. But beyond its cultural significance, India's gold reserves, when you factor in government holdings, family treasures, and temple wealth, make it one of the largest gold holders in the world. How much gold does India really have? And what role could it play in shaping the global economy in the future? Today, we explore India's immense gold reserves, their historical roots, and their future potential. The love affair between India and gold has ancient origins. Gold has been a cornerstone of Indian society for over 4,000 years, tracing back to the Indus Valley civilization. It wasn't just about opulence, gold symbolized divinity, wealth, and power. From kings to commoners, gold was a store of value that could be easily transported, traded, or passed down through generations. In Indian households, owning gold became synonymous with social status and financial security. This obsession with gold continues to this day, passed down as part of the Indian psyche. Gold is central to weddings, festivals, and even religious ceremonies. In India, gold is not just a luxury, it is considered an investment that provides safety and wealth preservation. So, how much gold does India actually hold? The answer to that question isn't as straightforward as you might think. First, let's look at the official figures. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, holds about 797.4 tons of gold as of 2024, making India the 10th largest holder of official gold reserves globally. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. A substantial portion of India's gold lies not in the vaults of the government but in the hands of its people. Indian households hold an astonishing 25,000 to 27,000 tons of gold, the largest privately held gold stockpile in the world. This represents around 11 to 13% of all the gold ever mined on Earth. Then, there are India's temples, which are renowned for their vast gold reserves. Some estimates suggest that Indian temples collectively hold 3,000 to 5,000 tons of gold. Temples like Tirupati Shirdi and Padmanabhaswamy are renowned for their gold collections, which have been amassed through centuries of donations from devout followers. When you combine the gold reserves of the government, Indian families, and temples, India's total gold reserves are estimated to be around 30,000 to 33,000 tons, which accounts for nearly 20 to 25% of the world's gold. This is a staggering figure, and it underlines the scale of India's hidden wealth in gold. Indian families have a deeply rooted obsession with gold. This cultural affinity goes beyond financial logic, it is tied to beliefs, customs, and traditions that span centuries. Gold is seen as a divine blessing and is used in rituals and ceremonies to ensure prosperity and well-being. For Indian households, gold is the most trusted form of savings. When economic uncertainty strikes, Indian families turn to their gold reserves, knowing that in times of crisis, gold retains its value. In fact, for many Indians, gold is their primary form of investment, often preferred over stocks or real estate. This trust in gold as a safe haven has been passed down through generations, reinforcing India's enduring relationship with the precious metal. Indian temples are not only spiritual centers but also massive repositories of wealth. The tradition of donating gold to temples goes back centuries, with kings and wealthy patrons offering gold as a sign of devotion and gratitude. Some of India's largest and most famous temples have accumulated vast quantities of gold, making them among the wealthiest religious institutions in the world. The Padmanabhaswamy Temple, for example, is often referred to as the richest temple globally, with treasure vaults that have yielded gold worth billions of dollars. These gold reserves are not just symbolic, they represent the deep spiritual and financial bond between the Indian people and their temples. temples play a significant role in preserving gold as a stable store of wealth for the community, often holding vast amounts untouched for centuries. Gold's allure extends far beyond culture and tradition. It has a crucial role to play in stabilizing economies, especially in times of crisis. Historically, when economies falter and currencies depreciate, gold tends to hold its value or even rise. This is because gold is viewed as a safe haven asset, a reliable store of wealth that isn't tied to any single country or currency. For India, gold could serve as a lifeline in uncertain times. Whether it's during periods of economic instability, global financial crises, or inflationary pressures, the country's vast gold reserves offer a form of financial insulation. These reserves can be tapped into or even used as collateral in global markets to stabilize the Indian economy if needed. For decades, the US dollar has dominated the global financial system. Most international trade and global reserves are held in US dollars. However, many economists argue that gold could challenge the hegemony of the dollar, especially as countries begin to question the stability of the US financial system and the long-term value of the dollar. India, with its massive gold reserves, could potentially play a significant role in shifting the balance of power. Countries like Russia and China are already increasing their gold holdings to reduce their reliance on the dollar. If India, alongside other nations, were to push for a gold-backed international monetary system, it could fundamentally alter the dynamics of global finance, reducing the dominance of the US dollar and increasing the relevance of gold in international trade. In a world where trust in fiat currencies is waning, gold could emerge as the ultimate global standard. If confidence in major currencies like the dollar or euro falters due to inflation or geopolitical instability, gold could serve as the fallback option for governments and investors alike. Gold has intrinsic value that transcends borders, making it an ideal candidate for a global reserve currency. In fact, some have argued that a return to the gold standard, where currencies are backed by physical gold, could restore stability to the global economy. While this may seem like a distant possibility, the sheer quantity of gold held by countries like India could give them a substantial influence in shaping the future of global monetary policy. India's deep cultural connection to gold, combined with its vast reserves, positions the country as a sleeping giant in the world of finance. With gold's enduring value, its ability to stabilize economies, and its potential to challenge the US dollar's dominance, India's gold holdings are not just a historical relic, they could shape the future of the global economy. As the world continues to evolve, one thing remains certain: gold, the timeless metal, will always hold a place of immense importance in India's heart and its economic destiny.